Today we are going to talk about how to manage your dot files. Now you might be thinking, what the heck is a dot file? Well, my friends, dot files are configuration files that starts with a dot and are used to customize settings of various command line tools and applications on Linux and Mac systems. Things like your bash profile, your vimrc, or even your SSH config are all examples of dot files. So why use Git in first place? Using Git to manage your dot files provides several benefits. Firstly, it allows you to version control your configuration files, making it easy to track changes and revert to previous versions if needed. Secondly, it allows you to easily share your dot files across multiple machines and even with others. Finally, it provides a simple and efficient way to backup and restore your configuration files in case of data loss or misconfig. And by the way, there is a whole subreddit dedicated to dot files, so you might want to check that out. The link will be in the description below. So now coming to the Git bare repo. Basically, a Git bare repo is a repository that doesn't have a working tree. Instead, it only contains the Git database and all the files and directories in the Git folder. This means that you can keep your dot files in a Git bare repo and easily sync them across multiple machines. So now how do you set up a Git bare repo? Let's check it out. It's pretty simple. So here I have my terminal. So firstly, we'll need to ensure that we are in the home directory and we can just use the cd. Okay. Now to create a new bare repo, we will just initialize it normally and we'll pass an argument bare, which will make sure that the repo created is a bare repo. Now you can name it anything you want. I'll go with dot files. So dot and dot files. So now it says it has initialized an empty Git repository, and that's it. Now you have a Git bare repo. So how do we use it? Well, let's say you want to add your .zshell rc file to your .files repo. So in Git, when we want to add a file, we use git add .zshell rc, and this won't work. Since it's a bare repo, not a normal Git repo, we will have to pass the arguments telling the Git where to look for the Git directory and the working tree. So we'll pass the argument git directory as .files. So you replace it with the repository name that you have, and then we have work tree as home. So now the file is added. We can check that by git status. Again, we have to pass the same parameters. So as you can see, I have a lot of extra files here, which I'm gonna clear out now. We don't want all of these files to be tracked in Git. As it's a bare repo on the home directory, the Git will try to check each and every file in the home directory, which is very inefficient as it's gonna look for all the files. So what we can do is we can tell the Git to only look for the files that we explicitly add in. So we can change the config here. Let's see, git directory dot files and config local status show untracked files. Yes, no. So here we have updated the config to show untracked files as no. So now Git will only look for the files which we explicitly add into the Git tracking. So now let's check the status again. As you can see, only our new file is added there. Now passing all these arguments again and again on each command can be a tedious process and painful. Let's first get rid of that. So what I like to do is here create an alias. Now you can use any name you want. I like to go for dfc, that is .files config. So now this alias dfc, I can use that anywhere and it will use the git command and with this specified arguments. So now I can use this command dfc anywhere on my system and can add .files and commit them, push them, whatever, just like a standard git command. Instead, this is a dedicated command that will use for .files only. So let's run this, and now dfc status. Okay, it's working good. dfc commit and added.zshelasi file. Okay, now commit is created. And so now you have a bare repo that can track your dot files in a system. Now this way you can do the version tracking on your local system. Now what we can do is push this local repo to the remote repo, and then we can sync this across multiple systems. So let's check that out. So for remote branch, I'm gonna use GitHub, and here I have my dot files repo, a newly created repo. So let's add this into our local repo, dfc remote add origin, and it has added remote. Now let's push. So as you can see, the file is now added. So now let's log into my another system and check out this dot files and see how it works. I'm gonna SSH into my another system. Okay. So for the sake of this video, I'm gonna create this on a different directory and not on my home directory, so we can easily see what is the result of each command. Now I'm gonna create a new directory, dts. I'm gonna call this directory as dts, and we will go inside. So to clone the repo, the command is same. We just pass bare. So this is the command, and now we will write dot files. So this is the directory where our bare repo would be cloned. So now I have cloned my bare repo into dot files directory, and let's see, we have dot files. So as you can see, our zshell file is not cloned here because we only cloned the bare directory. Let's clear this up. Since this is our different system, it doesn't have our alias which we created on our main system. Let's create an alias before, dfc, and this will be now. Here I have taken dts as directory where I will be cloning the git as well as work tree. Now here, as you can see, I have used dts as a subdirectory after the home, only because my home directory already contains dot files, and for demonstration purposes I have used this subdirectory so the output of each step can be easily viewed. And now dfc checkout. So now you can see after checkout we got a zshelasi file, and that's it. You now have your dot files synced across multiple machines, all thanks to Git bare repos. So there you have it guys, a quick and easy way to keep your dot files organized and synced. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below.